Hello, welcome to Party Select, where two dudes and a guy who's their friend talk about the best thing there is, video games. I'm Kyle. I am your host for today's video. Up above me is Shay. Hey, Shay.
What's up?
And above Shay, the top of the totem pole is Cody.
Merry Gamesmas.
Merry I've never heard that before. That seems new.
Trademark. Copyright.
Trademark.
It's ours now.
Doesn't really make sense, but that's fine. I feel like normally it's a similar sounding word or a rhyme.
To what?
To like Christmas. Like instead of Christmas, it's like Hitsmas or Smithsmas.
Twixmas.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that Cody was doing like a game's Christmas portmanteau. I guess I just thought it was Heath that came up with a new holiday.
We're posting this right around Christmas.
Yeah, I couldn't keep the bit going.
You know what
It's
you're doing,
too
Cody,
stupid.
is you're taking the Christ out of Christmas and replacing it with video games. The
I
devil's
believe in
work.
those a lot more than, the other thing. So.
We do have
This
evidence
is-
that video
This is the
games
war on
exist.
Christmas right here.
Well, we made it approximately 30 seconds into the video. Welcome on in, listeners. Hope you're not Christian. This is the podcast where we talk about the best games of 2025. We've been doing these videos for a while now, going through the various years of gaming. And this month, it's the last month of 2025, so we have to talk about the best video games of 2025.
We have to. We have no choice. Despite our best interests, we have to.
Like far removed from our best interest as possible. We have been sharpening our knives in secret. We have been waiting for our moments to when the other person turns around, we're just gonna drive it right through the back. As much as humanly possible to get our picks as high up on the top 5 as we can.
It's the reason for the season.
Yes, yeah.
That's
also, you should also patent that along with Gamesmas. That would be like a good saying to go along with the name of that holiday. So the way we do it here, Shay, Cody, and I have come up. Look, I host a lot of these things. I got to come up with some way to like vamp in the beginning. The way we do things is Shay, Cody, and I put all the games that we give a crap about on the long list. This is like for us, these are long list consists of primarily our top 10 personal top 10s with some overlap, of course. We're going to go through. We're going to start with a lock. So the first round, we each get to lock one that moves into the short list, and then we go through and we start, picking the bones clean, right? Getting rid of the, what are other metaphors? Separating the wheat from the chaff. Shay, give me a metaphor.
Scooping the piss out of the snow.
Again, amazing talent. I can't keep up. So once we get to the short list, that's where the battles really start to happen, because we got to get that, 10 or 11 games down to just 5, and then we have to order the 5. So there will be a crowning champion video game at the end of this discussion. There will be horse trading, there will be concessions, there will be compromise, there will be backstabbing, there will be blows to the face with words.
We know we've done a good job if none of us is psyched about the top 5.
Yep. And that's how
we know we have hit a compromise.
Yeah. Nobody's happy, but also nobody's angry. We end it feeling nothing.
At least one person's angry usually.
Yeah, usually one person.
I think that's the sweet spot.
As long as no one storms off, that doesn't count as angry.
Yeah,
if someone quits Party Select, then we've probably messed up somewhere along the way.
That's true. Yeah. As long as we've, as long as we're within the modulus of elasticity for our video game relationship, we're good. As long as we can rebound.
Yes.
All right. How do we normally do this in the beginning? We read the long list. I'll start.
Yeah.
Or I guess whoever has the first game. I need to go to a different window.
We're gonna take turns here?
Yeah, we do that, right? That's what we do here.
Before we
certainly
jump into this, I do want to note, you would think with 3 top 10 lists, we would have closer to 30 games, but surprisingly,
It's quite a bit of
only
overlap.
22.
Yeah.
So I was surprised by that total number. So
Yeah, pleasantly
Yeah, that's a
surprised.
good point.
All right. Our long list. Atomfall. Ball X Pit.
Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector.
Clair Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Dispatch,
Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time.
Final Fantasy Tactics, Ivalice Chronicles,
Ghost of Yotei. Hades 2.
Hell Is Us.
Is This Seat Taken?
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater,
PokePath Tower Defense.
Skate Story.
South of Midnight.
Split Fiction, Sword of the Sea,
The Altars.
The Midnight Walk.
And The Outer Worlds 2. It's a good list.
It is a good list of good video games.
It's a scary list.
Yeah, this is going to be rough.
So do we want to go in order, in box order? Cody,
Yeah.
me, Kyle?
Yeah.
Make it
Cody,
easy
Shay,
for
Kyle.
the viewers.
Yep, starting from
All
the
right,
top,
well, it's-
working our way on down.
obvious lock for me. I'm going Clair Obscure,
Okay.
as that's my favorite game this year. So I'm gonna do that. one.
I will lock Ghost of Yotei.
Solid pick.
Cody, are you going to man the spreadsheet?
I got it, buddy.
I love
Or
it.
woman the spreadsheet? Whichever you prefer.
That's great of you. I'm happy you said that.
Death Stranding 2 on the beach is my lock.
And none of us are surprised by the 3 locks.
Yep. If you
But that's okay.
And that's kind of the point, right? Like we
Yeah.
know we're going to talk about them. We don't have to
Right.
talk about them right now. We can get
This
to the
doesn't
nitty-gritty.
guarantee any or all of those 3 games will be in our top 5, but it certainly guarantees some. If someone doesn't want one of those games on the list, they might have to fight pretty hard for it. I think
Right.
is maybe a fair way of saying that.
Sure.
Yeah. Because we
All right,
do
we're gonna
tend
start
to like when one person is super passionate, it's like their game. We do give that more weight. Even if the other 2 people don't care much about it, we do tend to give that more weight.
It just depends. I feel like every year is kind of different. Some years
Yeah.
it's like, I'm super passionate about this, I'm going to fight for it. Other years it's more like all 3 of us like this. That probably deserves it.
Yeah.
It kind of game by game and what kind of fucking mood we're in the day that we do it. How much
I
we
would
want
be
to
interested.
fight about it.
I would be really interested to go back and look and see how many of our locks, our round 1 locks, made into the top
Right.
5.
I think it's almost every one of them.
Yeah.
I know, I don't remember what year or even what game, but there was one that Cody locked that did not make it because his lock was a bullshit lock. It was like a ring. It was like
Kirby.
Dr. Mario. It was
Yeah,
like was it Kirby? Kirby's Air Rider?
No.
Kirby's,
Dream Course.
Dream Course. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Like a rant. Nonsense.
I mean, that
Nonsense
was
lock
that
pick.
was his like game of the year.
I know.
Yeah.
Nonsense lock, he says.
Nonsense
How dare you.
lock.
How dare you? All right. Cody, you get first cut. Draw first blood.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go again. All 22 of these games are great for their own reason. I am gonna choose Sword of the Sea though. That's gonna be my first cut.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. It's not top 5 for me. So.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't think it needs to be top 5 for you in order to be in the top 5. It is top 5 for me, for what it's worth.
Okay, well then I will go with my least favorite game on this list that I have played, and that would be South of Midnight.
I love that game.
I can live with that. I like that game a lot too, but probably not as much as Kyle.
I think the individual pieces of that game are better than its sum.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think many of the individual pieces of that game do not hold up. The exploration, the level design, the combat. Yeah. Yes. But there are other individual elements like the storytelling and the music and the characters, like the visual.
Far and away, like my favorite of those categories of the year.
Sure. Yeah. That game is more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah. I do recognize if okay,
if you want to veto it, veto it.
Here's the problem. When we look back at years as a retrospective, and it's not the current year, we're just picking games that we like. This is a list entirely comprised of all of our top 10s. So I don't want to fall on the sword, but I do feel very strongly that South of Midnight should stick around. But if I'm not going to get the support of either of you on that, then I do think we probably should cut it. Like if we're not going to be able to have like a good conversation about it in relation to the other games, you know what I mean?
Think it's going to make it. It's like a borderline top 10 game for me. I'm recording my top 10 very soon, so I need to make a decision on what that bottom of my list looks like. It's in the mix. There are enough things about it that I did not enjoy that makes it hard for me to justify being in our collective top 5. Because I know there are games that I personally don't care about at all that each of you or both of you really care about. And like, I'm not going to advocate for South of Midnight over those types of games, even at games that I haven't played necessarily.
I can make it easy. There's one on here that I don't think is our top 5. It's lower on my top 10, and I don't think you guys have played it, and that'd be an easy first cut.
Okay.
Just to get contention out of the way or move it later. Final Fantasy Tactics. Are either of you heartbroken if that's not moving on?
I wanted to bring up like what's the validity of that, frankly, within this list. Like how much innovation was there, and not that it needs to be disqualified, but when we think about the rest of the games on this list, I look at that compared to something like what was the Snake Eater? Like there seems to be more new in Snake Eater than there is in Ivalice Chronicles, but I could be wrong.
No, I mean that.
Yeah, and like I'm not going to disqualify it.
No,
it's just. If we're going to talk about like things that excite me, I was very happy to get to play Final Fantasy Tactics again, and I thought the new art was really beautiful, and there were some nice quality of life features like speed up and stuff. That's super nice. Thinking about it in the lens of the top 10 of like this year is so jam packed with games that I really give a shit about. It's hard for me to like personally. It's hard for me to put Tactics up there with those games. Like, I would not want to cede one of those other game slots to Tactics, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm fine cutting it for this.
Yeah, so I think it's okay to cut that one.
All right, it took me 3 options to cut one, so good luck.
That's tough. Honestly, like hearing you so willing to cut sort of the C so early, it makes it tough, because that is a game that like I might want to fight for, and knowing that you would not.
I love that game. I love that game, but there are
a lot of games on here.
There are 5 other games. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, it isn't just I would take 5 other games, so we should cut it. It's like the collectiveness too.
Yeah.
All right, a game I think we can probably cut Cody, I think you're the only other one that played this. Is this seat taken? Kyle, did you play that at all?
I did play quite a bit of it, yeah.
Okay.
And
I think it's a delight.
Yeah.
It has surprising depth, but also not like an insane amount of depth to what you're doing. It's mostly just a very fun, light puzzle game with very cute aesthetic and like funny circumstances, etc. And none of this is like, I'm not trying to toss it off or be pejorative, but I think there are other games on here that are maybe doing more, have more going on that I would fight for.
Sure.
I'm not gonna. So my experience with Is This Seat Taken, I was really enjoying it. I was vibing with it and like progressing through the levels and like trying to get perfect scores on every one of them. And I forget which puzzle it was. I was probably like halfway through the game. And because the way the puzzles are structured, it introduces you to an area and then you do a few puzzles in that area. And if you fail, you have to do it from like, there's no like restart. Like, I guess there isn't really like a fail, but there's no like restarting at the specific puzzle in which you want to redo. You have to do the whole thing of it again. And I accidentally hit the submit button because I was playing on Switch 2. I accidentally hit like Y or whatever it is instead of the other button that I wanted. And so it submitted my solution before I was ready to submit it. And then in order for me to like go back, I would have had to do all the preceding puzzles to get back to that point and redo it again. And I was like, if only there was a confirm thing for
you're
the
like, man,
solution.
it's just a skill issue and I fucked up.
Well,
that is annoying.
I think that's
it should save your progress after each individual stage.
At the very least, when you're submitting your solution, there should be a confirmation menu button prompt.
Right. Yeah.
Like, are you sure you want to submit? Yes.
Right.
Because like literally it was just like I was putting it down or something and I was either putting it down or picking it up and my finger hit the other button.
Yeah.
And like and I was like, that sucks, dude. Because I had perfected the previous like 2 things of it. Oh, that felt bad. So I didn't go back to it. It's kind of what happened.
Yeah, I get that.
So.
All right. Is this seat taken? Yes, it is.
It is taken by another game. Brutal. All right. Where is that on my top 10? Yeah, that's low. As it should be. The Midnight Walk. I really enjoyed it. I thought because it has like a very Tim Burton-esque art style. I think the little jar boy, I don't remember, I think his name might be Jar Boy, that goes along your adventure with you. He is adorable. He's my favorite. He would be #1 little guy of the year, even over Doll Man from Death Stranding 2.
Oh, interesting.
Even over Crouton from South of Midnight. Like Jar Boy's the boy. He's great. Very cute, very fun. Integral part of the story, part of the narrative, and some really affecting stuff at the end with him. I like the story in Midnight Walk definitely stuck with me. I thought the music was beautiful, the visuals were beautiful, the storybook nature of how the story's told. I really, really liked a lot of how it presented itself, and it was just a really nice time playing it. I think the gameplay is very rudimentary. I encountered a couple of bugs while I was playing it, which was unfortunate. Kind of like pulled me out of the immersion of the moment. And I do think it's a little uninspired mechanically. It definitely felt like a lot of the creative energy went into the story and the art aspect of it, which for me is fine. Clearly, because I really liked South of Midnight, and I kind of have similar feelings about that one, just more strongly. So, yeah. South of Midnight. I'm okay.
Only one game with Midnight on the title.
Yes.
Can move on.
That's right.
Oh. Okay. Well, the weakest of the games that I have played on here, I am torn between... Shay, I'm going to ask you first. If you had to save one between Skate Story and Outer Worlds 2, which would you save?
Outer Worlds 2.
Skate Story ran like ass for me on PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't have any problems. I saw that going around. I saw lots of people talking about it, but I had no issues, no frame rate problems.
Maybe it was artistic, but it was choppy as all get out.
It definitely has a sort of, much like South of Midnight, it has sort of a choppy, lo-fi kind of.
I don't get that like low
feel.
frame rate that I got in South of Midnight that I actually think did
it's
really
not,
well.
Yeah. Right.
But, like it felt like the game was running slow. Like really. Yeah, I did not enjoy my time. I love the way that it looks, and I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But
you played it on PlayStation 5, Shay?
I did.
I did. Yep.
And
then Cody, do you have a base PS5 or a Pro, Cody?
I was playing on the Pro, and it was bad.
And Shay, you were on base PS5? I do wonder if there's something to that. If like the Pro version actually runs worse for some reason. Because that I feel like that happened in another game this year. I don't remember.
That does suck though. I saw a lot of people talking about that,
Sure.
and I booted it up to test it, and then to say like if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna wait for a patch. And I played for a couple hours, had no problem. Came back a couple days later, played for a couple hours, had no problem.
And I'll put that aside because that's not necessarily a critique of the game if it is a hardware
Unfortunately, issue. In today's day and age, most games when they launch do not run great.
But even I will say I was a little disappointed by the structure of the game, the final structure of the game. I don't like how often like that does the weird fucking like pull away storybook stuff where it's just reading text and it's just weird, nonsensical. The gameplay is so cool and fun, and it does look visually striking. And like I said, the music is really good. I just really am. I haven't gone back to it. I played for a couple hours and I just haven't gone back to it. And I don't know. I wasn't as impressive as I wish I was.
The sort of halting nature of the game gets better as time goes because it's like hitting you over the head less with like that was my biggest problem with it early on too, was it's constantly like interrupting your flow state with story. And the story is very ephemeral and mystical and metaphor and a bunch of hoity-toity shit, which like I was digging. I was into that. It's very silly. It takes itself seriously, but with it in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way. But it's very much like it's like the Odyssey, or it's like high fantasy sort of approach that it takes to its storytelling, and that's very hit or miss even within the game. But like how often it was interrupting my skating with a freeze frame text. Like I really feel like this game would have been better served with a narrator voiceover that could be doling some of that stuff out. It gets better as the game goes, but it is like there's too much of that happening. And some people really dig that. Like I read a lot of reviews that like that was the thing people really loved as like an art piece.
Sure.
But so for listeners, viewers, your mileage may vary, but I definitely agree with you. That was sort of interrupting what I thought was the most fun part, which was the skating and the visuals feels really good. The music. Yeah. So when you're like in a tunnel where you're doing tricks and you're
going into portal
5 or
after
6
portal
of them in a row. Yeah. So awesome. The boss battles are very fun. The arena based stuff. But yeah, I'm okay losing that one because I had some issues with the structure of it for sure.
Okay.
It is funny when we go in this order, like when we go to cut each other's games, the person who chooses the cutting sometimes ends up doing way less talking than the other people. It is kind of funny that way.
Shay effectively has to now cut 2 games in a row because he essentially just cut the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know, like, I think you added, or maybe I added Skate Story. But I knew you had played some of it, Cody. So I'm not going to argue that hard for it if someone else played it and didn't like it that much. In a similar vein, I hate to lose this game, but I just know it's not going to happen, is the altars. This game's very high on my top 10. I normally don't get into like the sim style games where you're managing resources and relationships and sort of on a timer based thing. But the hook of the game with the sci-fi, otherworld, alien all that kind of stuff. Just the loop really got me. And I really like the idea of the clones and the different versions of those characters. I don't think the actual writing is like amazing, but I do really like the relationships. Like the more so like the emotional moments really resonated with me more so than the actual like dialogue did. I know, Kyle, you had a really bad experience playing with it. I feel like maybe you were in one of your moods that day because you were being mean talking about it.
Yeah. I was definitely coming down more harshly on it than I needed to, but I do stand by the criticisms themselves, not necessarily how I communicated them. I was in a bad mood, but I did definitely. I think the game, like so because I play a lot of these types of games.
Yes.
I am used to the game serving up more information so that I like as kind of like the architect of the situation that these characters are in. I felt like I didn't always have, and part of it like it is different because like in a quote unquote God game, right? Like you are omniscient supposedly, so you should have all the information. In this one, you are playing
you're just
third
a dude
person as the dude, so it is different in that respect.
You weren't even like the leader of this exposition. You were like the mechanic.
Yes,
and now you're running everything. Yeah,
right. Like woefully unqualified for the situation that you've been put in. And I found that the experience to be very frustrating because the game would throw curveballs at me that I felt like I did not have the capability to forestall those things from happening because the game wasn't surfacing information to me. And that's where most of the frustration came from. And then also, like, I echo your sentiments about the writing not being all that strong. I think because it is all one actor playing all the different versions of this character, I think that's really impressive. I don't know that he like sticks the landing on maybe like half of the ones that I'd come across. They all felt I think like they're very. I mean, they're very intentionally supposed to be archetypal, yes, because
stereotypes.
Yeah, because you are literally creating them that way to serve a function. So like,
and it makes them much more distinct than they otherwise would be. Like to me, I think the voice actor did a really good job because of how different they all felt. Like to me, no two of the characters felt like the same guy.
Right.
And that's impressive to me when you're playing a dozen characters like that.
And that is the most important thing.
Yeah. I do think, and Kyle, you had levied this criticism, like especially early on, the characters are not all that likable. Like your main guy is kind of an idiot and he's like fumbling his way through. And a lot of the other characters are assholes. And that's, to me, like that's part of the story. They're angry. You birthed them from your own DNA.
Yeah.
They didn't choose to exist. And yet they have distinct memories that didn't actually ever happen. That's fucking crazy. They hate you and you have to like warm yourself up to them. I liked that process, but I don't blame you, Kyle, for like not liking that when immediately everyone's just an asshole all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it's a valid criticism, but like as a core part of the game experience, I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed, I lost a lot. I made mistakes a lot because it's not a God game. And as someone that doesn't play a lot of these, and as someone who like, I like having the perfect run and optimizing everything, the game does not really let you do that. There's too much stuff that can go wrong and you can't get everything done in a day. And that chaos, I thought, like, was balanced well, where I would make mistakes, but I felt like I was able to fight my way back and claw my way back to doing what I needed to do. And there's another game on this list that I feel like the difficulty tuning was maybe not so good in a similar vein. But yeah, all that to say, I know, Kyle, you had checked it out and really didn't enjoy it. I love it. It was very high on my list. It's also not a game I typically like, so it's hard for me to like be authoritative about its systems. So I'm okay losing it for our collective list, but you'll see it on my top 10.
I would like to play it. I have it. I just haven't played it yet.
It's really cool. Like you might hate it too, but I think the initial conceit of it is a very cool idea.
I think it also didn't help
that a bit.
Yeah, it didn't help that I had played the demo and saw a lot of like the holes in the formula for me for like what I come to those kinds of games for, smear quotes, even though because like this I was levying my own expectations on the game. I don't know if the game was necessarily selling itself as that type of game to me, but I had expectations that were not being met, and I was like, I don't know about how I feel about this one. So I kind of went into it with a little bit of that anyway. So
yeah.
All right,
Kyle, you gotta cut something.
Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. I enjoyed this game a lot. I played a shitload of it. It's like one of the first things I picked up on my Switch 2. Played it like nonstop for several weeks. It is a grind. It is a very good grind. It feels like someone played a lot of my favorite games, like those mid-gen Zelda games, Animal Crossing, Minecraft. Like it feels like a lot of people, like the people who made that game, played a lot of my comfort games, and stripped back a lot of the friction that some of the formulas that those games employ, like some of the friction that those games come with, and just made it like just a grind for everything, which I am always down for. Like, if the core mechanics are fun, it's just more of that, and that sounds great. It's like this game kind of has like there are so many systems. Like there's crafting, there's like relationships with NPCs, like friendship level stuff. There's questing, there's exploration, there's dungeoning. There's like random dungeoning stuff you can do. You have your own town that you can manage, like an Animal Crossing town. You're unlocking, making it bigger, building your villagers' houses and decorating stuff and managing those friendships and giving you buffs, and all the systems feed into each other very intelligently. And just other games came along, and it was like it was a solid like 3-week affair with Fantasy Life I.
Very hot and heavy.
Really enjoyed. Very hot and heavy. And then it was like junk food for me, I guess. And then the more substantial meals came along. I realized that I couldn't just eat Doritos for the rest of my life. I needed to have a steak. So yeah, I'm fine getting rid of Fantasy Life I. It's fantastic. Like, if you're looking to kill some time, if you've got like a big trip coming up, or you're gonna have a bunch of dead time through the holidays or whatever, and you like those kinds of games like Animal Crossing, old school Zelda, I would recommend it, because it's a very well packaged thing, and it will just continue to throw new mechanics at you in a very like consuming way. Yeah. Bye.
Huh.
Maybe one round of cuts, and then we see if there's anything that like we should definitely move over to the short list.
Okay.
I feel like I, as far as games that I played and could speak to, am at a point where I really just need to cut the games that I don't think I will be able to convince you guys. Namely, Split Fiction. That game is very good and really high on my list, but I don't think I'm going to get you guys to sign off on that being.
I mean, I'm
on the fence.
I liked that I had something to play with Kara, and like we got to like do that together. That was great. I didn't really like the game all that much. Most of it comes down to the characters.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That's what makes it difficult, because the actual co-op gameplay, I think, is still best in class. Just like
absolutely, they do some of the
previous one. It Takes Two.
It Takes Two.
It's so inventive, and each scenario is different. I think they do a great job of that. I also like the setup, the fantasy sci-fi setup of the different worlds. I do think that they take sort of a vanilla approach to a lot of those. Some of them are cool, sides of that, but many of them are just not that are pretty generic. But the characters and the writing is just absolute bottom of the barrel dog shit. Like, it's one of the worst written games I've played in a really long time.
And it's just like
and that makes it hard.
The whole conceit is that they are writers, and so it's like I guess they're like kind of like failed writers, right? They haven't been published, but like I would assume a level of intelligence and, you know,
understanding how publishing works.
Yeah, also that, yeah.
And like the villain is trying to steal their ideas to publish books. Like it's nonsense. It's just
it's dumb fun though. It's dumb fun. Like, yeah, I'm not taking a game like this story that seriously. Like right. I would in like a Kingdom Come or a Metal Gear Solid. Like, it's dumb fun. I don't look at those things very analytically. I had a great ass time. For me, the characters did not detract from my enjoyment of the game because the game was that much fun. I remember one of the few things I had talked with my wife, who I played it with, about during it was, it is so cool how not only just the general gameplay is so inventive and fun, but both, like, I would think in a game like that where, you know, this character is going on this path, this character is going on a different path, both are very cool. One person's not having a better experience than the other at any time. Both sides are incredibly engaging. And that the ending of that game where it does like the merge and the going between the two worlds, I thought was incredible. One of the coolest things I've seen this year. Yeah, I was very, very, very impressed by Split Fiction, but I know you guys are a little more down on it than I am, so I'm not gonna.
I'm on the fence about it because it is a game that all three of us liked, at least like generally, the actual playing of it. So in that sense, like, it has a lot of value because there aren't a lot of games that all three of us enjoyed, that all three of us played and enjoyed, I should say. But it's just hard for me to fight for it. It's probably not going to make my top 10. My wife and I never finished it. We never got to see the cool ending stuff. We keep saying we're going to go back to it. We haven't, which is maybe telling. Yeah, it's just tough for me to. I don't know. I think there's other stuff on here that I would see cut sooner, but I think it's probably tough for it to make the top 5.
Yeah, I'm just going off like I'm not at a point where I want to cut people's games that I haven't played, seen, or experienced in any way.
Yeah. I just like with Split Fiction, I also don't just want to like shit on the game that Cody likes. I also want to add that there were some sequences that I thought were really cool, like the flying mission. I did really enjoy that. Was what
the hot dog
stuff was super fun. The dentist stuff, suitably terrifying, creeping.
There's the one side one where it's like like hand drawn and you're all like sketches, and
that was very.
There's
cool.
a lot of really inventive, cool stuff in that game.
Yep.
And I guess like, because I'm not a big like platformer fan. I mean, like I didn't even really like Astrobot that much, just because it's not. I don't. There was a time when I loved platformers, and I feel like I've played enough of them that I'm just kind of sick of that jump here, collect a thing. I don't think I'm ever really gonna like wanna play a new one of those more than other kinds of experiences. And so a lot of Split Fiction is just you're kind of doing that in between some light puzzle solving stuff. And so like that's the prevailing feeling of kind of apathy that I have for it. But there are absolutely some standout, super inventive, fun sequences in there, like big blockbuster moment stuff that was really cool.
Right.
And I feel like that, you know, probably sustains a lot of the ho-hum the interconnecting run around platforming while the characters talk at each other stuff.
I think it's probably time to cut that one.
You got it.
How do you guys feel about Snake Eater for this
I didn't
list?
even play it, which I know is crazy, but like I guess I didn't feel like I needed to. I've played Metal Gear Solid 3 so many times. I do think if I were to play MGS3 again, I'm sure I will someday, I will play this version just to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I still really like that original version. It's still really fucking good. So I guess like I was excited for it, and then it came out, and I was like, oh, I guess I don't need this, huh?
Yeah.
Weird.
And I mean, MGS3 is my favorite Metal Gear Solid. That is a low bar, I have to be honest. but it is my favorite. I mostly bring it up for two reasons. One, again, not disqualifying, but knowing that it is like a remaster, somewhat of a remake of an older game, makes me like less excited to see it on the top 5. And then the second piece is knowing that Death Stranding 2 is going to be talked about a lot as a top 5 game. It's very hard for me to see both of those games making the top 5. And I imagine both of you would go to bat more for Death Stranding.
I think that's super valid.
MGS.
It really is just a remake of a really good game. I mean,
yeah, like if
that's all it really is. Yeah.
The weird thing about these podcasts is like, I would much rather celebrate all of these incredible games, and because of the structure of what we have to do, we just mostly kind of shit on them. It was like finding the worst things and highlighting them and like trying to like.
I totally disagree. I feel like we've done a great job celebrating the games as we have.
I think we're doing a good job.
We have to talk about.
Time.
Yeah, I feel like we do have to talk about the things that hold them back. And I'm not saying anything about Snake Eater holding it back. I mean, I'm well on record about how I feel about MGS, and I absolutely believe MGS3 is my favorite. The camo thing in and of itself is such a cool idea. It's purely like, I know you guys like Death Stranding 2 a lot. Ain't no way both those games are making it on the top 5 when I'm on the podcast. And it is a remaster/remake. And I would there's other stuff I would rather celebrate.
Right. Yeah, I feel similarly to that as I do about the Final Fantasy Tactics one. Like, while I'm not going to say like one game had more work that went into it, like, I don't fucking know. But like, Delta does go the extra mile to implement a lot of
there's more new
revamped controls.
There's a lot of quality of life, like presentation stuff to make it more accessible for a newer audience that like Final Fantasy Tactics didn't end up doing. Like I said, Tactics does have quality of life stuff, like, but it's like here's the original thing.
Tactics wanted to show like it's a modernized version of this much older game.
Right. And so again, we don't think it's necessarily disqualifying for it to be a remake or remaster, but it's not the kind of stuff that like is going to excite me seeing on the top 5. And I would rather celebrate other games.
Yep.
All right. One more cut, and then we can see where we are.
You guys have been like cutting your own games
until Snake Eater, for me.
Yeah.
But you don't have to cut your own game. I mean, if you feel like.
Yeah. I don't think you guys are gonna turn around on South of Midnight at all. So we should probably go ahead and get rid of it.
That's another one that I'm very much on the fence about. I could see it being top 5, probably not, but I know Cody didn't like it, which makes it a harder sell.
Like I said, I think there are some parts of that game that I do very, very much like, but ultimately coming away from that game, I was just bored out of my mind. It was just a chore to get through.
The combat really wears
and there's
out
a
its
lot
welcome.
of it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it.
Well, see, I didn't feel like there was too much of it because it isn't
especially because you're locked
game.
in the combat arena.
Yeah,
so you can't like skip it.
Every time you entered a new big area and there's like 5 combat zones that you got to go do. Yeah, that was not a fun feeling for the last 2 or 3 areas, in my opinion. I thought most of the boss battles I thought were pretty.
The bosses were pretty good. Yeah. But
because they added additional mechanics, right?
Right.
But
and they all
just
felt
straightforward.
They all felt like bosses out of different genres of games too, which I thought was kind of neat. Like the Rougarou was like a Souls fight, like a Souls boss fight.
Easy as shit.
Well, yes.
If that's what Dark Souls is, I don't know what all the fuss is about.
Well, hey, you should get in there and give it a shot sometime. You might find that it is easier than you think.
I mean, I've played. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, Two-Toed Tom was very like early like N64
Ratchet and Clank.
like like PS2 N64 era platformer boss, like running around in that little strip of land and it's throwing stuff at you and you're throwing stuff back. I like
Kyle.
South of
Would you
Midnight a
take?
lot.
Would you keep South of Midnight over Atomfall?
No.
Or Hell Is Us.
Yes.
I would actually vie for Hell Is Us. I think Hell Is Us is a cool fucking game.
Hell Is Us is really cool.
I didn't play it.
South of
I didn't play
Midnight.
it for what's
Yeah, you
worth.
watched me play a lot of it. South of Midnight is like feels important in a way that like Hell Is Us
I agree.
doesn't. But I do think Hell Is Us is a better game, like video game, and it's certainly more complex in those ways. I also think that's a game where the combat super wears out its welcome. It just happens to be that Hell Is Us is like a 25-30 hour game, and South of Midnight is like a sub 10. And so when the combat wears out its welcome in Hell Is Us, it really goddamn wears out its welcome. But like the other stuff that I'm getting out of Hell Is Us and South of Midnight for me still far outweighs the mundanity of the combat. I guess I would say like there aren't really like there are boss fights in Hell Is Us, but it's just like big, like slightly larger, higher health, higher damage versions of the enemies you've been fighting, with the exception of like one boss that had a different mechanic. And that was pretty rough. From Hell Is Us for that one. But I mean, like so many other great things about it. I would not take South of Midnight over Atomfall, but I would take it over Hell Is Us.
So we should cut both.
No.
Well,
So,
I do
between
think
those three, Hell Is Us is at the bottom for you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's probably the one that we should cut. But then we should talk about Hell Is Us a little bit.
Sure.
So it is like Souls-like combat. Definitely like they have mechanics in place to give it depth, but the depth is unnecessary unless you're playing on like the highest difficulty. Like they have builds that you can do and weapons that you're upgrading and all that other, and like, but you don't really need any of that stuff because the core mechanics of the combat don't have the depth that would support the need for those kinds of like build crafting and stuff. Like the systems are in there, but they're not necessary. I think where the game shines is certainly its environment design and its storytelling. Its environmental storytelling, I should say. It's a very weird, like slightly off version of our world. Sort of like it's Eastern European, a lot of gray mud, but some really fantastical architecture in there. It's like, so it looks like our world, but someone has plunked a bunch of like insane architecture and weird, like ancient structures everywhere. But we have built like a slightly modern Eastern European society around those things. It feels like a world that has a depth and a history. And I think that's really important because for me, that was the draw of the game, was to explore more about the world. And it was intelligently crafted, where like there's a lot of that good like Souls wraps around in on itself map design that encourages exploration, unlocks shortcuts, and like a lot of like sightline teasing of like, oh, there's an item up there, I bet I can go get that, or like that's a cool location that probably has some interesting stuff in it, like some side lore, or like maybe a side character I can talk to and learn a little bit more about what's going on in the world. It's chock full of little mysteries that it never fails to reward you for exploring.
And the thing that you haven't touched on yet too is that there are no waypoints, there are no navigation points.
Right.
You have to deduce everything. So there was actually a time when you were playing, I was watching, you were in a house, you had gone to there's just junk all over this house. Nothing's like sticking out or is like brighter or indicates that it would be an object that you would interact with in any way. You had gone to the bottom of a house, you found like a key, and it was called like a red car key or something. And I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure you passed the little red car when you were going down the stairs. And like so Kyle backtracked and just happened to see that red car. I mean, nothing to indicate that was the red car or anything.
Right.
And then there was something he could unlock that, like, it
was like
so
like
cool
the numbers
when like it works.
Yeah. But it was like the numbers were painted on the side of the car, but you couldn't see them because the car was up against the wall. But the car is also present in like a photograph that you find somewhere, and you do see the numbers in the photograph. And so it's like, it's very, the puzzle design is very intelligently done to where like it is solvable, but only if you're really thinking critically and are
paying
observant.
attention.
Yeah, like it really rewards observation and like you paying attention. Unfortunately, the story doesn't stick the landing. I think they're setting it up for DLC that's going to be dropping because there's like a little after credits thing. But it's told in like a loose frame story where it's kind of like jumping back in time and then jumping forward to like this interview thing and then jumping back in time to like play through the parts where you're ostensibly talking about in the interview. And the game kind of ends with like a pseudo resolution of that interaction towards the end, and then leads into something new post credits. But like there's no boss at the end, right? Like there aren't really boss battles in the game aside from kind of that.
Nor
one.
is there like a big mystery that you solve at the end that would be like,
so there is
boss adjacent.
There is like sort of there is a big mystery, a place you're trying to find, and then eventually once you find it, trying to figure out its secrets and get within it. And a lot of the puzzles were really difficult in the game, but because they were difficult, they were very satisfying to solve. The main story thing at the end, they just kind of give you the answers. It felt like, because at the beginning of the game, a screen pops up. It's like, we're not going to help you at all. Like, there's no minimap, there's no nav markers. You need to pay attention. And it just felt like at the last thing they did in the game was kind of give up a little bit. And that was really disappointing. So I did come away with it disappointed in that respect. But I was still very happy with my time I spent in the game. But like that, coupled with, not being super hot on the combat, yeah, I liked it a lot, but I have a lot of issues.
Hard, probably.
A sequel would go super hard, or like I'd be interested to see what they teased is DLC, not a sequel. I would be super interested to see what that looks like as well. Because there were a lot of things that I liked.
I do think we need to move on. We can't spend like 10 minutes on every game, or we're going to be here forever. We still have half these games left we haven't even talked about.
So we can cut Hell Is Us.
Hell Is Us is great, but it's not
cool.
in the top 5. Okay. How do we want to do this? We've got like what, 6, 9, 10 games left.
So
on
13
the long
total.
List.
We should do one more round of cuts.
Yeah, do we want to cut them again, and then we can just go through the remainders?
Yeah.
Game by game.
Cody.
Outer
you
Worlds
want to
2.
cut?
Outer
Cody?
Worlds 2.
Man, I know, Cody, you weren't hot and bothered about it because it's not your kind of game. I thought, Kyle, I thought you liked it more. Like that felt like a game that was going to be like a solid number 4 on our list.
It's like
totally
it's
our
like
jam,
11
and
or
they
12
actually did
for
a
me.
good job of it.
It just got edged out of my top 10. It's like 11 or 12.
Yeah, I haven't quite beaten it. I was trying to beat it today, and it's like what you said back whenever it was last month, 2 months ago on the main podcast, that it's a little bit bloated even for being a more condensed kind of Fallout game, and I definitely agree. It's like a little bit longer than I would want it to be, a couple hours longer. Yeah, I just really like it. I think that the world and the characters are very compelling, and the different factions. I love talking to everybody, and I like reading all the notes. I think there's a lot of really good tongue-in-cheek humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a solid AA one of those.
Right.
In a way that Avowed was not. Like Avowed
Correct.
was a huge disappointment to me.
Too many qualifying statements with Avowed.
Yeah, I just really liked Outer Worlds too, but yeah, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be able to make it through.
Yeah. I really like the music. That was one of my runner-ups for best music. Like all the corporate. It's like
I didn't like those.
You didn't like
the
it?
radio stations?
Yeah, because they're written like real songs of that era, like the era that they're like the bluesy, jazzy stuff. But then all the lyrics are like for corporate product placement stuff. I just thought the writing in there was really
kind of
fun.
annoying. It is like to listen to for the first time. Yes, I liked all that stuff for first listen, but for hours and hours of it, I turned it off.
There's not enough
the atmospheric music is like barely there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, dude. I mean, the game I would cut the most on the long list is South of Midnight or Atomfall, but I've not played Atomfall, so it's hard for me to justify. But I would take every other game on this list on the long list over South of Midnight, personally.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's the one we've come close to cutting twice already, so we should probably just let it go. We've already talked about it. Okay.
Oof.
In revenge. I know. I'm kidding.
I cut a game that I also like and finished. So now here comes Kyle to cut one of my games that he never played.
I was kidding. Cody almost cut Sword of the Sea at the beginning. Given all these
I'm
conversations
surprised by that, man.
It's real good. It's real good.
It's so good.
It's real good.
Okay, then, you know what? I'll leave that one alone. It sounds like Cody fucked up at the beginning of the podcast. You probably shouldn't have.
As a first cut, that was absolutely a fuck up.
Okay.
I'll leave it alone. Hades 2. I haven't really.
No way.
I haven't really listened to you guys talk about Hades 2 at all.
I've not played it. I haven't played it.
Well, it's because I just started it this past month.
Okay.
So that we haven't really talked about it on the main pod. I just started it in December.
Okay.
There's no way we're cutting Hades 2.
Okay.
Right now. But I'll give you Citizen Sleeper 2. We can cut that.
Wow.
Because I know. I knew coming in, like Hades 2 is my solo game. Like I feel like each of us gets one game that only we played that we're going to fight for. Not all of them are going to make it, but like there's no way 2 games that only I played are going to make it, I guess I should say. So with that in mind, Citizen Sleeper 2 has to go. I think it's the best written game of the year. Check out our YouTube channel for a short where I talk about that. The biggest failing to me, because I enjoyed this game less than the first one, I think the sort of galaxy-spanning story that it tells is more interesting. Its character moments are better developed. The first game is way more focused on like day-to-day, making it through, trying to uncover this sinister plot that's happening that has to do with you. The second game introduces a lot more characters and stuff, which is great. The gameplay, I think, is really let down in Citizen Sleeper 2. This is the game I mentioned. Like, they dialed up the difficulty knob a lot, and I don't feel like it adds to the game. Essentially, the short version of how the game works is each day you're given 5 die that are randomly rolled, and you use those die to accomplish tasks. So you have to hack into a computer to help this one guy buy a ticket off of the spaceship. And you also can go work a day shift at the local eatery to get some extra cash. Okay, well, the hacking is more important. Let me give my 5 die on that. I don't care so much about the cash. Let me just throw a 1. Oops, I dropped a plate. They deducted my, pay because of that, because I had a 1, whatever. And that's what you're doing day to day. If you fuck up enough, or as you're going out on missions and trying to like break into things and taking chances to get more rewards, if you mess up, you can lose die for a very long period of time that you have to repair using a finite resource, which is really hard. You also like I don't remember what they call it, but like you basically get like scared in space, which lowers all of your numbers. There's just like a lot working against you, which was true in the first game, but it was easier to get through for the sake of the story. And this one, I felt like I was constantly up against a wall and always failing and never getting done what I wanted to, and it's just like failure begets failure begets failure. And that like was a drag. I made it through and it was worth it, but it was kind of a drag at times. So all that to say, we can cut Citizen Sleeper 2. But everybody should go play it, please. More games like this need to be made. The writing is very like mature. Games aren't written like this. Like we look at games on here, games that are fantastic, do not come close to the depth of character study that a game like this does. And I say that with the least amount of pretension as possible. Which is still some, but
yeah,
the least amount possible.
That's okay. A little bit's good.
All right. That was it, right?
Was that it?
Because I kind of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
My game on Kyle's behalf.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Do we just want to talk about them all and see which ones we should move over?
Yeah.
Or do we just want to? Are there any that jump out here that like we don't think should move over, or should we just move them all over and then start talking about them?
I mean, we only have 10, so total.
Yeah.
So I guess we should just probably talk about them as we move them over.
Yeah. Atomfall is the only one that I've not played.
Okay.
From the list.
I'm the only person who played Atomfall. For the record. This is a game by Rebellion. The people who make Sniper Elite. It is, I mean, you know, it's an Obsidian Fallout-like game made by Rebellion, set in somewhere in Britain, or some European. You know, I might be wrong. I mean, a lot of the accents are very British, so I'm just assuming Britain. It could be somewhere else.
I think that's true.
It surprised me a lot because it had a lot going against it, right? Like, this is a studio who's not known for making these kinds of games. I don't look to the Sniper Elite games and go, oh, those are written really well. It's, I'm going to shoot Hitler in the balls and watch his balls explode.
Hell yeah.
Which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to shoot the mustache off his face. That's great. I was really, really, really surprised by Atomfall. The quality and the amount of the writing, the vocal performances. It presentation wise, you could easily mistake it for another Obsidian RPG. 100%. Another Avowed like or Outer Worlds like. But it is much more serious in its tone. It has some wackiness here and there, like a little bit of levity. But some of that comes in the flavor of that like very dry British humor. Which I am a fan of. I know it's not for everyone, but it definitely landed with me. It feels like, because like Fallout London, the fan project, I think came out this year. And that didn't land very well with me. And then, so like Atomfall kind of felt like that for me. It's not as immersive of a sim as like a Fallout game, because you can't pick up everything, right?
Right.
It is at its core, you know, first person survival shooter, where with you have a tile-based inventory. You are visiting traders and selling things to traders. Like, it has all those kind of core RPG systems with first-person shooter elements. It has stealth and et cetera, all that stuff. But I think it is and all of that stuff is competent. It's competently designed. I think some of the inventory management stuff early on is a bit of a pain. That gets ameliorated a little bit as you go along. You get some upgrades and stuff. But at the outset, it is very much teaching you like, oh, this is not a game where you pick up everything. And that's kind of where it distinguishes itself from a Bethesda or an Obsidian RPG. You have to be thoughtful about how you're playing it. But did you play the
expansion packs?
No, I did not, because I got it on
not
Game
that it matters.
Pass.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I got it on Game Pass, and I did not continue my Game Pass subscription
spend
stuff.
Money on that.
Yeah. So I just have not rebought it on another platform yet. I probably will, but I've not yet. But the place where it really surprised me was the writing, because it does the thing that those games do, where it offers you a bunch of factions you can align yourself with. There are a couple turning points in the story where you have to make some important critical decisions. And I thought all that stuff was handled really well. And I got an ending that I'm very happy with, but I think I would have been happy with any of the possible endings because I went and looked some of them up after I had finished just to see what some of the options were. And like the very different latter thirds of the game, pretty much, if you based upon the decisions that you're making. And I thought that level of breadth from like a team the size of Rebellion in like a new format that they're not known for making, huge surprise for me. So I thought it was a fantastic package, all put together. It's not without its issues and has some quirk stuff too, but I really fucking loved Atomfall. I want to revisit it at some point.
It made me think of Deathloop. I know they're very different, but in the openness of finding a solution to this like environmental problem.
Because it does have a little bit of that
Deathloop, and so it just had this weird like.
It is nothing like that. It does have a little bit of that like less handholdy, more critical thinking, like Hell Is Us has. It has a little bit more of that DNA in it than your typical Obsidian or Bethesda RPG. And so I did appreciate that as well. Like it felt like I felt like it trusted me a little more than those games do.
I also find myself always, every time I've seen Atomfall in here, I've been thinking it's the game with the hot robot ladies.
Oh,
that
no.
That's the same game in my head.
Which one was that? What was that one called? The Russian BioShock?
Ladies.
Yeah, that you guys both played.
Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart,
oh,
yes.
Okay, they both start with Atom. Okay, so that's why.
Yes, yeah, they do. Yeah, Atomfall is the one that like they showed a long time ago. There's that like tiny little gameplay thing of a dude with a cricket bat, first person, walking and like beating some dudes in the head with a cricket bat.
Sure.
Which you do in this video game. And it is satisfying. It's fun. Ball X Pit. Shay, you played Ball Pit as well? Cody, did you at all?
I did. I liked it a lot.
I played a little bit.
Yeah. I think the freneticness of the runs is very well handled. There is so much customization and like depth that you can discover if you choose to. Like to start, I had it on like auto shoot, and then like I hit a point where I was like, okay, I can't do that because I need to be able to have a certain strategy on where I am when I'm shooting, etc.
Sure.
Which honestly, like I didn't like. Because there's so much going on. I want to manage my positioning. I don't want to also manage my shooting.
Everybody starts out auto shooting, and then you hit a point where you're like, wait a minute.
I can't.
What if I
can't
didn't
make it
do
farther?
That? Yeah.
Right.
And then for me,
but yeah,
like it really clicked in that moment. I was like, oh,
I see.
There is some strategy around like my vertical position with some of these builds, like how quickly. Like there are tiny efficiencies that add up over the length of a run that you can achieve by playing a little differently, and that really clicked for me.
Yeah, I think the thing that was occasionally frustrating because the when you level up and you get to pick a new ball or unlock or whatever it might be, you can fuse them, and I don't remember what the other one is called, where like they
evolve,
accelerated or whatever. Evolve, yes, thank you. That's a great mechanic.
Yeah.
There were plenty of times where like I was doing really well and then I got like a potential fusion that I had not tried and I was like, yeah, dude, give me that shit. And then it ruined the run.
Yeah.
And like without a really good understanding of what's going to happen when I pick this thing, that could be a little frustrating. I compare it to a game like Hades 2, which gives similar upgrades, but the descriptions are very specific and you know what you're getting into. It doesn't feel like in Hades 2, when I pick something, I accidentally screwed up a plan. And it felt like that pretty frequently in Ball Pit, which was frustrating at times.
I will say the Ball Pit runs
very frenetic the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to navigate all that at once.
The
Ball Pit runs are much
super
shorter
appealing. Yes, definitely.
Than like a Hades run. So it is like, it's a little less punishing in that way.
It is, but it's the core concept of it ruining it when like it wasn't my fault. Like I didn't know any better. That just doesn't feel good. The town building stuff, I also like. It's cool how it integrates with the runs and sort of that like passive meta progression that they build into that. I think all of that works very well. I just didn't like actually doing it. Like, it didn't add anything to me to be building the little houses and going and harvesting all the crops. It just didn't. I wasn't having fun in those sections.
It felt a little too separated from what the actual game is.
Yeah.
It felt like
the outcomes were integrated, but like it mechanically they weren't integrated with one another.
I liked it, baby. I liked
oh yeah, it's totally your jam.
Yeah, it's my shit. I liked moving stuff around and like figuring out like, okay, if I fire from here into these buildings, I can get this angle.
To me, that almost feels like a separate game. Like that's a totally different game to do that.
Right.
But it was just a weird mishmash of the two. Games.
Like, I don't think it would have been a better game without it, because I think the meta progression is solid.
That was key for
I just
me,
wish, I just wish it would have been a different sort of thing.
Man, the first time you do balls from the back.
Oh, yeah. That was it was my third run, because my first two runs, I like barely made it in. And I was like, do I suck? What's going on? Am I just getting unlucky? And then the third run, it was the ghost ball that went through with like the electric vertical thing anytime it hits a wall. And I was like, okay, shit's popping off.
Oh, yeah. And then like the soundtrack, like the sound of the dudes marching and like the little chanting they do, how it amps up as you get further along. And it's like,
and when the screen like expands.
And every
it's
time.
Very
it's so
intense.
fucking good. Very visceral, punchy. It's good shit.
Agreed. All right. Dispatch. Cody, you want to talk about Dispatch?
Dispatch I think it was my runner-up, one of my runners-up for surprises of the year. It was announced last year at Game Awards. I don't even know if at the time we knew it was the Telltale folk. I don't know if that had been announced.
I think so.
Maybe it was.
I still didn't know that until this moment.
Yeah, it's a sect of Telltale that is revived into Ad Hoc Studio. And I thought from that initial trailer, like I was pretty sold on the concept and idea. I think it was a fun idea. The demo came out and I played that and I was pretty happy with that. I love this game. I love the characters. I know it's not for everyone, but I love the art style a lot. I think it looks incredible. And quite frankly, the like actual dispatching is kind of fun. I mean, like
I think it's super fun. It's pretty simple, but
But it does some cool things, and there's some actual strategy and depth to it, more than you'd think there would be. With the synergies between characters, and like you build that up over time by remembering to send the same two to different things that they'd be good at, as well as like speccing characters into certain skills. I think the weekly format, the 2 episodes a week was awesome. It gave people, like it was like a show that releases weekly of like Tess and I would talk after we each finished the 2 episodes, be like, oh, where do you think what's going to happen? Like looking forward to next week. And it built that anticipation. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I was like behind on the release schedule by like a week, just because stuff was happening in life and I wasn't keeping up. And so I was kind of playing one episode at a time. Like I'd play one and then like 5 days later, and that was kind of my thing until I got to episode 6, which I mentioned in Best Moment. There's like a really dramatic thing that happens at the end of episode 6 that I was like, okay, no, I gotta go play episode 7 immediately and see what happens. So like the story really kept me going too. I do think, which I know Kyle is the biggest reason you didn't care for it. Well, one of the big reasons. It's extremely crass. And the writing is very juvenile. Like the dialogue is very juvenile. It's a lot of dick jokes, a lot of fart and poop jokes.
It's like
and
saying
that like
fuck
grates
5
on me.
times every sentence.
Yeah. It does grate on me a little bit, but I find the characters so endearing and their relationships so fun that it's much easier for me to look past that stuff and just like enjoy it for what it is. I don't think it's like, in my opinion, the best written game of the year by any means, but I did really love the journey. And I thought the actual story and like character development stuff was really awesome. I also think, in talking to you, Cody, after we had both finished it, like we both had the most opposite experiences you could have with the story. You romanced Invisigal. I romanced Blonde Blazer. You chose Sonar to save in the beginning. I chose Coupe to save in the beginning. And so there were like totally polar opposites in our decisions, which I think also lends itself to the intelligence with which they handled the decisions that you make, that we could have such opposite experiences for people that are, we're pretty similar people, and we still chose totally different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a really good time with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Hades 2. Yes. This is my one game right now. This is number 2 on my game of the year list. The first game, ironically, also finished second to the predecessor of my game of the year. Eagle-eyed viewers could maybe like do the math and figure out what those games might be. But
the first Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's what it is. Did either of you play Hades 1?
Yes.
Okay. Hades 2, like, in the most simple of terms, is a better game in every single way. It has a steeper learning curve. I did not like it as much at first because the combat has a lot more depth to it. They added like an Omega move for each of your moves, where if you hold the button down, it charges it up and uses your magic to do extra damage, which adds like another layer of strategy that at first I was like, this is a little bit too much. But in any roguelike game, like, you learn the patterns and you figure it out as you go. You just got to die a couple of times and you sort of start figuring it out. But I think Malinois is a really fantastic character. She was close to an honorable mention for me in best characters. It was like a honorable mention for me in best writing. The meta progression is really where Hades crushes it for me, and why I've stuck with both of those games when I don't typically stick with roguelikes. Talking about Ball Pit, where the meta progression is happening through these other mechanics, that the actual mechanics weren't interesting to me. And so it was kind of like, yeah, I have to do this, but I don't really want to. The meta progression in Hades is predominantly about the narrative. Like, even if you die, and when you die, you still are getting new story. You still are meeting new characters and progressing. So dying doesn't really feel like a failure in the traditional sense. And that, like, releases so much of the tension for me when I'm playing this kind of game as someone that hates dying in video games. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's better than the first in every way, which, like, I did not think was possible. I think the soundtrack is absolutely killer. The visual style is so fucking good. There's a lot of underwater stuff because you're, rather than escaping from hell, you're trying to break into hell to take on Kronos. And it, oh man, so fucking good. The driving beat as you're fighting super inventive bosses. It's a special game. It's good.
Awesome. I'd love to play it. I'll play it at some point.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
This one's crazy. This one's crazy to me, how much we like it for how comparatively less we played of it.
Yes. I mean, I put like 30, I put like 35 hours into it, so I feel confident in my ability to say I really love it. But no, right. I still haven't gone back to it. Like, I've played so many games this year. I just haven't. But man, I love it, and I really.
You had to go play Mind's Eye.
Yeah, I did have to go play Mind's Eye and Parasite Eve on the PlayStation 1 and 2.
Right.
Yeah, it is. I think it is written incredibly. We don't get this quality of writing and performance in period piece games like this kind of ever. Not that there are like that many of them. These kind of period piece games, they tend to not be immersive sims. They tend to be like 4X games like Civ, where the voice acting is an image of a dude with his arms crossed and like a frilly coat and hat talking about his like 9 sons and how one of them will inherit his throne one day. Like, we don't get real, like, stories that feel like they're following real people, like, living their lives in this time period.
Yeah.
So that felt really fresh in a video game. We've seen some, like, other types of media tackle that stuff before, but it didn't. And obviously, this is the second of these games. Not a lot of people, not a lot of mainstream people played that first one. And I also don't think playing the first one is necessary. They do a good job of splicing in some footage and some like memories and stuff of the first game while you're playing the second one to like keep you up to speed on stuff, to be like, yeah, this dude who just popped up is important and kind of here's why. They don't lean on it too heavily. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. Yeah, I like it. Also takes its role as an immersive sim very seriously, which is another thing. I guess it's kind of like my theme this year is like games that they trust you a little bit more. They're not holding your hand as much, because like, that can be enjoyable too. But I was very magnetized towards these kinds of experiences this year. And this game does not hold your hand at all. It punishes you left and right, often in very funny ways, but also sometimes in frustrating ways. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It can be frustrating, but every failure is a learning experience. Like you learn a little bit more about the combat. You learn a little bit more about how the like stat systems work and how your perks should be used and how they synergize with each other. You learn a little bit more about what's legal and what's not, because that's not always readily apparent. It's just a really beautifully put together experience.
It is kind of a game that, like, I mean, everybody makes different choices. Yeah. For me, it was a game that I kind of had to make a choice to not save scum it. That, like, if I fucked up, if I missed a speech check, or if I stole something that I shouldn't have, or did something I shouldn't have done, and I didn't know better, I kind of just, like, accepted the consequences of that, because it happened so much that, like, at first I was trying to save all the time to reload save so that I didn't mess up. But then I was like, it's just killing my momentum. It's killing the fun, just reloading save states when, they even kind of limit those, at least in the beginning. Maybe that gets better.
It does. You end up being able to craft the potions that let you save.
Okay.
And also at any time you can save and quit and go to the main menu.
Right.
And it does save it. And so you can kind of save scum that way. Like there's only ever one save slot, right? But you can kind of do it that way.
And then I had a very different
you kind of just
experience
give that up,
I played it fully modded.
Yeah, you played it on PC fully modded.
I modded, I removed any friction because I loved
I forgot about that.
The story and the gameplay. I knew if I was going to, like, I think when the linchpin for me was I had gone to sleep in what I thought was a legal bed, and it was not, and I got arrested, and it's like, well, that fucking sucks. I mean, that's not fun. So I knew if there was going to be a chance for me to get through this, I would need to remove any level of that friction, and I had a spectacular time after doing so.
Yeah. I don't know how far did you guys make it? Shay, you
I didn't get to
I
the
probably
last
only played like
hours,
a dozen hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
More
than a handful, like 10 to 12.
I started working for the blacksmith, and then I went and started doing a bunch of side quests.
Okay. So neither of you got to the wedding?
No.
Okay. Because I went and I did the wedding, and then there's a big, long, protracted, like heavily focused story thing that happens after the wedding, which is in and of itself a tighter scope story thing. And then it kind of opens back up, and then there's like another thing you go do that's like farther away. And I'm just where I stopped was at the end of that thing that you go do that's farther away. And I don't know how much I have left, but that's for if people have played it, that's where I am. There's a thing with a fort. I went and I did the fort.
I do feel like the game is presented in a lot of ways in the cutscenes and just sort of the storytelling it's like it's very Rockstar. I think it feels like a Rockstar game.
Yeah, it has excellent cinematography and direction.
Yeah.
Like compared to a game like Outer Worlds 2, which I love talking to characters, but boy, you're just looking at their flat fucking faces as they talk to you. Just a static shot close up. Yeah, I remember that stuck out to me immediately was how directorial KCD2 felt, and that most video games still do not nail that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
It's a good video game.
All right. PokePath Tower Defense.
This one is crazy.
This is fucking crazy,
like
dude. Nobody watching this has any idea what this is.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm still coming to terms with how much it's gonna fuck up my top 10.
Maybe there's some recency bias here. Maybe
that's my only thing, and like it's on here right now, but when we're talking about top 5, that's my only thing is like, is this gonna stick, or is it a hot and heavy? We're in the throes. I literally just started playing it today, and I've had it on like all day today, and it's very addictive. I guess, Cody, do you want to tell everybody what it is?
So it is a fan-made game, currently available on itch.io to download. You can play in your browser or download it and play it as an exe. It is
you can play for free.
You can play totally free. There is a donation page if you want to contribute to the developer. It is, simply put, just a Pokemon tower defense game. Which, I can't believe those two worlds have never collided before.
Crazy.
This moment. But yeah, I mean there's 70 total Pokemon in it. Well, there actually are probably more individual Pokemon, but there's 70 total slots, including all evolutions and everything of the mons you get. They all have their own stats that level up as you level the Pokemon up. They all have their own abilities, things like giving poison to enemies that run through, burning them, slowing them down, buffing your other Pokemon, healing you. I mean, there's all sorts of different abilities that they can come with. Or what am I missing?
So structurally, you start with one route, and there are specific points on different types of terrain on the route, and different Pokemon can only be placed on certain types of terrain. They also have different targeting parameters, like some are your traditional tower defense towers, where it's just a sphere around. Some of them are like a cross grid. Some of them are like a ring, which means like right around the tower it won't fire, but further out, anything within the larger ring it will fire on. And then the enemies just come like in a row down the path, and you're trying to defeat those enemies before they get to the end of the path. And if an enemy gets to the end of the path,
like a screen from a handheld Pokemon game.
Yeah, it looks like a route from one of the early gen Pokemon games. And they call it's like route 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and then there are 9 total. So 1, 2, and 3, and 3 of each of those. And so there are 100 waves per route. They all end on like a special boss wave kind of a deal. Every new wave that you beat on a route gives you a star. And then you can unlock more Pokemon or towers that you can place simultaneously by getting more stars, so more slots unlock. You also unlock new routes through that way. There are also a couple Pokemon, at least one of them, that like has stats that have synergy with how many stars you have. So like late game, that Pokemon might be better. There's just a lot of really interesting mechanical ideas in there that play with the Pokemon formula. There isn't like a lot of type matching stuff like I was kind of expecting there to be. But there are like, and you can set the targeting parameters of each Pokemon, like target the faster Pokemon coming down the lane, or the ones with the most health or least health or more shield or whatever. And there's like a surprising amount of depth in there and strategy, because in order to hit that 100th wave, you really need to level your Pokemon up and be thoughtful about how you're allocating the different slots that you have available on each route. And that has definitely been the most fun part for me, is just like kind of build crafting, like team comp crafting, to try and figure out
team
what's
comp
best
definitely
per route.
matters. Yeah. And you can change it per wave too. Like that's a really important thing, is swapping people. It shows you like a Tetris. It shows you what types of enemies you're going to face on a given wave. So you're sort of moving people around, or Pokemons around. Yeah, it's very
impressive.
Cool. It's very addicting
for being made by either one person or a small team. It's impressive what's there. It's honestly impressive that it's even considered to be on this list is wild.
It fucking rules.
Yeah, it kind of does.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It will probably not. It will probably not be up forever. So if folks,
that's a good point.
If that interests you at all, go download it while you can.
Amen.
Yep.
Last up, we have Sword of the Sea. I did fuck up in suggesting this first. That is tragic of me, and I can't believe I did that.
Okay,
it is a gorgeous video game.
It's good to know.
I was very impressed by what I played. I will say my own neuroses and the way that I engage with video games sort of got me to be frustrated with it at the end, because I was going for the platinum, and to get the platinum, you have to go through the final boss without taking damage, and I just could not do that for the life of me. I just threw myself at that over and over and over again.
The final boss I thought was a letdown. I did not find that boss to be particularly fun.
Yeah. But
in
otherwise,
comparison to the rest of the game,
everything leading up to it is fucking gorgeous, and the sound design is incredible. The way they the way they give a story with very minimal if any dialogue. I mean, there's no dialogue, but there are sort of tableaus that you read that have some text on them that give some sense of the world. It's real damn good. Anytime that you bring the water back to an area, all the creatures swimming in it and everything is just beautiful. That's a damn good game right there.
Yeah,
I've been a huge sucker for all of their games, back to Journey and then Giant Squid's stuff with Abzu and Pathless, and I just really feel like Sword of the Sea is like the magnum opus of everything they've been trying to do, and really the cumulative experience of all of their previous games that makes me very excited for whatever they do next. I hope it's something wildly new and different, because I feel like Sword in the Sea is mastery at this type of game experience, and I don't know how you make it better than this. So I hope they say, all right, we crushed it, let's go do something else now. That's my hope. But yeah, man, it's so beautiful. Oh.
And talking about Skate Story and how fun that is to ride around. I mean, you effectively are on a sword hoverboard, and I mean, even just jumping around on that thing and doing the half pipes, it feels real good. It feels really good. The haptic feedback and the controllers, you're sliding over the sand. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yep.
Another game that has you skateboarding on something that's not a skateboard, Death Stranding 2. Just saying.
All right. From the games we just talked about that are now on the short list. No, I'm saying just because it's fresh now. We just talked through 7 games.
Yep.
Are there any that jump out that probably aren't going to make it?
Well, let's read the short list out loud.
Okay.
The short list is, I'll read them real quick. Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. Those were our 3 locks at the top of the episode. Atomfall, Ball Pit, Dispatch, Hades 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, PokePath Tower Defense, and Sword of the Sea. Those are our 10 on the short list. Hey, that's the unordered Party Select's top 10 of 2025.
Fair.
Ish. I feel like if we were actually making a top 5, there would have been more haggling. But ish, our top 10. Okay. Are we really just looking for 2 more games, if we're being real? Is there any way Clair Obscure, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding 2 aren't in our top 5?
I don't think Clair Obscure should be on there. Cody.
Okay.
Cody has to put in the work. He's the one who likes it. I like the story a lot.
I agree with that. But I wanted to ask, and I'm not trying to put Cody on the spot.
I will.
But when we think about those 3, that's fine. No, I agree with you. But then do we want to say Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding are in our top 5? I'm totally fine with Death Stranding 2, and I'm not going to fight you guys on that at all.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll fucking take that every day of the week.
Yeah.
It's
a losing battle.
Okay. We should talk about
I would take Clair Obscure over Death Stranding on our top 5.
I'm sure you would.
Obviously neither of them would be in my top 5, but I would take Clair Obscure over Death Stranding, but I feel like that's a losing battle. When we look at the 7 games we just talked about, any that jump out that aren't gonna make it?
PokePath, I think, is individual top 10 material. I don't know that it's here. Although we do really like it.
We all really like it.
Yeah.
And
it's tough.
It there's that little what's the term? The not antagonistic, like anti-culture part of me that's like, no one else is gonna have PokePath on their list. It'd be pretty cool to have it on ours.
Oh, it would be cool just to be shouting it out, but I feel like we've already done that.
We've already done that, yeah. But you're
right.
I think holding up a post-it note with my personal top 10 on it right now, and I mean PokePath. It is in the bottom 5, I think, towards the high end of the bottom 5 for me right now in this moment. Not that has to mean anything, but
just for fun, when we look at the short list, do we each want to give our top 5? Not ordered, but like which 5 we would pick to put on there.
Okay.
And see if anything comes out of that.
Yeah. Maybe if something doesn't get brought up, which I doubt will happen, but
yeah. Cody, do you want to start? Do you feel equipped to do that?
Yeah, I would go Clair Obscure, Ghosts of Yotei, Death Stranding, Dispatch, and Kingdom Come.
Okay. I would take Yotei, Dispatch, Hades 2, Sword of the Sea. Is that 4? And then KCD 2.
Okay. I would do Yotei, Death Stranding, KCD 2. Atomfall, PokePath.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't say ball
locking, right? Locking KCD 2, I think, is the right choice. We all three of us really like it.
I agree with that.
Makes sense.
Yep.
And I think we would all feel good about that as well.
Yep.
Yeah. We can cut Ball Pit. Looking at the list, I would sooner lose Ball Pit than PokePath, which is not what I have on my, which is not what I have on my top 10. So I need to revisit.
Yeah. Hearing it, Cody, come down to KCD 2 or Sword of the Sea for like your 5th one that you would pick, I feel like we probably cut Sword of the Sea. Like I would take Sword of the Sea over KCD 2, but I totally agree that KCD 2 should be on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I do struggle with PokePath though. So here, I feel like, Kyle, would you take PokePath or Atomfall?
Atomfall.
Then I think we should cut PokePath.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Because I know. I do feel like...
Isn't there some merit, though, that 3 of us have played that and all 3 like it versus one person? And
There is. Yep. I take it back. There is. I feel like the linchpin is like... Is Clair Obscure going to make it? Because it's like... Because like Cody has Clair Obscure, Kyle has Atomfall, I have Hades 2. Those are our unique games. And we all like PokePath. And Cody and I really like Dispatch. Kyle really did not like Dispatch.
Yeah, I despised it. I also will qualify that with the fact that I played like 10 minutes of it. And immediately recognized it as my kryptonite and bounced.
Clair Obscure, we could say, like, if we were assigning point, not that we need to base anything off this, but
I know where you're going
if we
with
were
this.
assigning points on this would be maybe 1.5. Kyle, would you say you're like a half point for Clair Obscure?
Oh, I see. Yeah, like all things being equal, being serious, having Clair Obscure in the top 5 would not make me angry at all.
Okay,
I recognize that there are parts of that game that I do love. It just happens not to be the part where it's a game.
We'll say 1.5. Atomfall, I would say, is just 1.
Probably.
Dispatch, let's say 1.75 to take Kyle's. Kyle gives it a minus 0.25. Hades is, again, this feels so pejorative and so
I don't know that this is a useful exercise.
Yeah, no,
because I think like the end result happens to be all three of us did play Clair Obscure. None of us except Kyle played Atomfall. None of us except me played Hades 2. That isn't a bonus for Clair Obscure that all three of us played it.
Totally.
Because you guys fucked up for not playing Hades 2. Like,
it's not my kind of game.
No, I know. And Atomfall's not mine. I respect what it's doing.
Same.
Here's what I'll say. If Clair Obscure is not on here, which I 100% believe it should, and my justification for that being, I mean, you could really just go watch my superlatives. I think it won 4 or 5 of the 6 categories for me. It is one of my favorite.
You really called the Game Awards on that one.
I mean, it like I'm not alone in that, I guess, which is nice to know. It is one of my favorite games of all time. It is so special to me. I've never had an experience like I had playing that game where just like it's so rarely do I have that experience of, wow, I'm playing one of my new favorite games of all time. Like and it's different than like a Last of Us.
Cut Atomfall. Because I love Atomfall a lot. I will probably go back and play it someday. I do not feel the way about Atomfall that you feel about Clair Obscure.
Okay. I mean, that's fine with me. I'm just, unlike a Naughty Dog game where like I expect that to be good and I expect to really like that. I had no expectations with Clair Obscure, and to have something where you have truly no expectations and go from that to being an all-time favorite game,
right,
is a very rare feeling, and a rare experience. And then I'm so happy I got to have with that.
Yeah, we should cut Atomfall.
I am starting Clair Obscure over. I am putting it on easy mode, and I am gonna give it another shot. I straight up wanted to do that this past week. I did, because I'm going to be gone for like a week and a half over Christmas. So when I get back from Christmas, I will be playing it. And I might bounce off again. I might not like it, but
Deck.
I own it on PS5.
Oh, okay.
Wait, do I? Oh shit, no.
Well, that was Game Pass.
Was it on
right?
Game Pass?
It was on Game Pass. Yeah.
Is it on Steam?
I did downgrade my Game Pass.
Yeah,
oh shit, I'm gonna be fucking pissed if I don't want to play it on my Steam Deck though.
Is it
it was on
Steam
Game
Deck
Pass.
verified?
This is good content.
Yeah, it is Steam Deck verified.
I'm not gonna play it. Okay, I'm not gonna play it on my Steam Deck. All that to say, I'm gonna play it, and so that makes me like advocating for it, because I was very, very much into the story. I was very much into the characters, and the taste I got of the combat, I loved. It was the dodge parry mechanics really like put a sour taste in my mouth. It's just not what I'm looking for from a turn-based RPG. And honestly, like, as much as I love the art direction, visually it did not wow me. I think it looks really muddy, that game. But it's a AA independent game, $10 million budget, whatever. It's not a big deal.
They also are often covered in mud, so that's fair.
Fair enough.
Mud and blood,
it's fuzzy. It's not sharp. The visuals I do not find to be sharp. A lot of hair feathering effects happening. Yeah. I believe that the 3 green games should be on the list, and the last 2 games should be Clair Obscure and Hades 2. That's what I think. That's what I believe. I think those are the 2 best games left on this list.
So here's like,
I don't think Dispatch is going to be on there because Kyle hates it.
I know. Yeah, I know you super love Hades 2. There is something to the fact that all 3 of us. But I'm like crazy into PokePath. Cody's pretty super into PokePath. Cody got spreadsheet sicko on it. And Shay, you've enjoyed what you've played so far.
Yeah, I really like it. It's just like, I think that, and this is not a negative, I think this game's going to come and go. I think we're all going to have a lot of fun with it for a couple of weeks. I do not think it is as interesting of a video game as the other 9 games that are on this short list. I think it is a super fun time, but it's like borderline an idle game. And I don't mean that as a negative, but it's a pretty passive experience. I'm not in the late game. I haven't done a level 100. I'm sure there's a lot of depth there, but I do not think it is as well-rounded of a video game experience as the other games that we've got on this list. That would be my response to that. I do think we should cut Dispatch.
It would be pretty cool to have 3 of our top 5 be games that we all agree that we like and played. That would be cool.
Sure. And if there were 3 games that we all played and were super passionate about being in our as representatives of our top 5 games of an entire year, I would absolutely be with you. And I feel like that has happened before. I just don't think PokePath is that. I think it's an excellent honorable mention. It's an excellent game for our personal top 10s and to shout out and to get people to go check out. I do not think it is one of the 5 best video games.
If PokePath's not on there, this could be anybody's list. It's so boring.
I do not think it is boring when the 5 games are the 5 best games of the year.
Yeah, but like if everybody agrees on it,
notice we didn't talk about fucking Donkey Kong Bonanza. We ain't talking about Hollow Knight Silksong because we don't give a shit about those games. This is still our list.
My only thing, I'm sure Hades 2 is great. I mean, from all accounts, it is fantastic. There just is something about this being a collective game of the year that I would rather see a game we all played and liked over a game that one person played and liked.
The problem is this is Hades 2 is Shay's big thing, and Clair Obscur is your big thing.
Totally.
And all 3 of us played Clair Obscur, and Kyle and I didn't like it.
There's a reason I have not greened Expedition 33 yet. If Expedition 33 on there isn't on this list, I would like to see PokePath and Dispatch.
My picks would be Clair Obscur and PokePath out of the 4 remaining. Cody, yours would be Clair Obscur and PokePath? Or Clair Obscur and Dispatch?
So it's either Clair Obscur and...
Like, what are your top 2 of the 4 that are left?
Clair Obscur... I mean, Dispatch is higher on my list than PokePath, but for the purposes of this, I would rather see Clair Obscur and PokePath.
Yeah, I would take Hades and Dispatch. I just think PokePath is a flash in the pan. And it's super fun. I have a hard time giving up a game that I think is like in the top 50 games I've ever played for a game that like I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, PokePath. I remember that. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, you're selling me on it.
It's very fun. It's very addictive. It's like right up our alley.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon. It's like a bite size.
The Pokemon of it is doing a lot of lifting.
It is.
It's doing all the lifting. Let's be honest with this. Yeah. If this was anything else, we would have never even played it because it's a very straightforward tower defense game. That's fine. But even as a tower defense game, it's very simple.
Sure. It is very much my genre, so I'm always looking for a good tower defense game. I've been playing The King is Watching, is that the name of it? That's another tower defense game, and I actually gave that up to keep playing PokePath.
The Pokemon that does a lot for it.
It does.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
It's just my opinion. Like, there's no way I would play. I mean, I would if you guys were like, oh, this is really cool, simple, web-based tower defense. I would be like, yeah, sure. I would have played it for 15 minutes and then moved on. I'd be like, yeah, that was fun. The fact that it is Pokemon makes me still interested.
The game gets its flowers for even being considered in this debate. I mean, truly.
I agree with that.
So, some would say it's in the, top 7 best games of 2025.
If that makes you feel better about it, that's fine.
It does.
That's fine.
If PokePath is going, Dispatch is going. And the other 2 games are going to be Clair Obscure and Hades 2.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.
It is fun. Like, I'm totally okay with this. But this isn't a weird top 5. I do feel like we normally have some weirdness going on. And this is, I guess Ghost of Yotei wasn't nominated, but the other 4 games were all nominated for Game of the Year at Game Awards.
Right.
But I feel like more than anything, that just shows how fucking strong this year was.
Yeah.
Basic bitch
That's
games,
how good
man.
These games are. That the weird, basic.
And anybody could like these games.
That isn't true. I hate Death Stranding, just so that we're clear. And I didn't like Clair Obscure.
So I think I'm just going to throw this out there. I think we have a number 1. I think there's an easy number 1 here.
Do you?
Yeah, I feel like we should. You talked a little bit about Clair Obscure. I feel like we should talk about Ghost of Yotei. We should talk about Death Stranding 2. Not for 10 minutes, but we should talk about them because.
Well, I would like to propose that we talk about Ghost of Yotei when we move it to number 1 and then talk about it.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Death Stranding 2 is not going to be number 1.
No, I would rather have KCD 2.
I'm open to that conversation. I'm open to that.
I would need to have the conversation.
Okay.
Yotei is my number 1 game of the year, so my opinion is pretty obvious. But I'm open to having the KCD 2 conversation.
Yotei currently, Yotei is my 3. Behind KCD 2.
And Death Stranding is at 1.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 might switch if I keep thinking about it.
Wow. Okay.
I just struggle to have a game that I've barely played be that high. I just can't.
Barely in the grand scheme. I mean, how many hours did you put into it?
Oh, I don't know.
20?
Maybe.
I mean, for how long that game is, I see what you're saying. Barely scratching the surface. And
I can't speak about the ending. I can't speak about, like the story as a whole. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point. It's definitely my most regret of the year is not playing more of it.
Yes.
But that does make it hard to want it to be at number 1.
Okay.
Or like be okay with it being at number 1.
I think that's fair then.
If you want to have
then I'm fine with Ghost of Yotei over it.
Yeah. If you want to have the Death Stranding 2 versus KCD 2, like that's a you guys conversation. I'll abstain from that, but yeah, I feel like Yotei should be at 1.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of feel like Hades is at 5, Clair Obscure is at 4, and then it's the other 2 for 2 and 3, depending on how you guys feel about it.
I would put Death Stranding above KCD 2, but I could be happy the other way as well.
Yeah, I would take KCD 2 at over Death Stranding, obviously. But I have no problem with. I feel like a Kojima game is always at number 2 when we do these.
You
guys are in the cult.
So I beat Death Stranding 2 in like sub 30 hours. I just did the story. I did like 2 side missions, and then I just mainlined the story for the rest of the game because I was so drawn into it and wanted to see it through. And then Cody, on the opposite side of the spectrum, you 100%ed the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Over 100 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is really interesting.
It's not the conversation we're having here, but I will say Death Stranding 2, I did not like the gameplay of as much as the first one.
Interesting.
Just a factoid, I guess, because it's not relevant here. But yes, it was way easier, but it was to get more people in.
Right.
So,
And that made it work better for me because I just wanted to see the story through. Not that I wasn't enjoying the gameplay, but it wasn't the hook for me like it was for you.
Again, of what I played of KCD2, it is incredible. I can't speak to the thing as an entire product because I've not seen it all.
Right.
I can only
None
talk
of us
about what
can.
I played. But I have seen every rock in Death Stranding 2 and feel comfortable talking about that game and giving it its flowers. Some of the best moments in gaming, hands down this year, came from that game.
That's true. You and I both had Death Stranding 2 on our best moment.
And there were multiple you could have chose from that game.
Oh, yeah. I just, for what I go to games for, the many things that I go to games for, one of the primary ones is to be lost in a world. And I'm a big medieval culture sicko. And so inhabiting that world, I found uniquely rewarding.
I think it's probably the best at that this year.
Yeah.
Atomfall, I imagine, is probably pretty good at that. But I think KCD2 is even better than Yotei. KCD2 is so good at sucking you in.
Yeah. They're they're both open world games, but they could not be more different.
I will say, I've given KCD2 its flowers, but I should also reiterate, I had to mod that game to get enjoyment out of it. Otherwise, I would not have found enjoyment in it.
Yeah, there was plenty of stuff that I did not like the immersive nature of the tedium of things, the potion brewing and the smithing and stuff. I think is amazing from an immersion perspective.
Super cool,
but I don't want to do that every time. To draw a correlative to it, with Ghost of Yotei, it was super fun cooking mushrooms the first time I did it, and then every time after that I skipped.
Skip it
because I'm immersed, man. You don't need to sell me even more. And so KCD2 having a ton of that kind of thing is not I would have liked to mod that out.
Sure.
Yep.
I would say the difference between the two, the KCD2 minigame stuff, there is a skill because they're they don't give you a UI for it, right? There is a skill to learning how to do it and do it well, and the game rewards you for doing it well by having you craft better things or multiple things or whatever it is. And there's some passive stuff that increase that, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some interplay of systems and stuff. So it's not just the aesthetic experience of cooking in Ghost of Yotei does not correlate to those kinds of that's my point. And that's not really what you were saying, but
yeah, more.
But it's a good point though.
Yeah.
The act of doing it might not be fun, but it's more. There's more value to it from a gameplay experience than there is in Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah.
I actually really don't like the combat. Oh yeah, it's a little.
It never felt great to me.
Yeah, there is definitely a skill curve in the combat because it is unlike, other than the first game, unlike any other combat system. Weird. Once it clicks, it is really rewarding and exciting. And you when you look at the combat in the game, you're like, this is incomprehensible. What are these arrow things flashing? It's all animated very well and it looks neat, but what am I watching? When you're in control, making the split-second decisions, trying to pair the combos together, it can be very exciting and tense. Those fights. I don't know, man. I need someone to jump in. Shay, you're the mediator.
I mean, it's hard for me to be a passive objective observer because you guys know how I feel about Kojima stuff. And I really love KCD2. Like, had I played more, I'm kind of in a similar spot as you, Kyle. Like, had I played more KCD2, it might be my game of the year.
Right.
I just didn't, so it can't be. But when it comes to a collective list like this, I mean, I know Cody's passion for Death Stranding 2 is very high, and I know how much you loved it too, Kyle.
Right.
There's something to be said for all of us loved KCD2. But none of us finished it. It's hard to, there's a little bit of apples and oranges in terms of the actual experience that we all had with those games.
I know. I'm trying to like put them on scales together and see which one is heavier, but it's just like,
like, and I'll say, I feel like a lot of years when it comes to like the Kojima games, it's like, oh, is it 2? Is it 3? Like, I think I listened to our top 25 of the last 25 maybe, and it was like Metal Gear Solid versus Super Mario 64. We talked about that for a while. I had a really hard time letting MGS, or no, it was at 3 and 4, letting MGS be above Super Mario 64 because of my passion for Super Mario 64. I don't have that same type of passion for KCD2 because I didn't play as much of it. So, like, if Death Stranding 2 is at 2, 0 complaints from me. When in a lot of years, I'd be like, fucking Kojima bullshit. I hate this. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. So, I actually have objectivity in this specific circumstance. With that said, like, I would still love to see KCD2 at 2, just because all 3 of us did play it and really liked it. And it does have more of what I'm looking for from a game. Like, I'm more impressed by what they were able to make than I am by Death Stranding 2. But I also know, like, hearing you guys talk about that game, the highs are very high.
Yes.
In Death Stranding 2. So
I think Death Stranding 2 is Kojima's magnum opus. Truly. Like, that sounds so pretentious, but I
would love that. I would love for this to be the last game he makes. Go make shitty movies instead.
I do think it is the perfect culmination of his work into a game. I think it's again, I'd be happy either way. I would prefer Death Stranding over KCD2 for the reasons I've already stated, but I would be happy either way.
I would also be happy either way, which is what makes this such a weird situation. Because, like, this is weird. I'm not conflicted negative. I'm conflicted positive. Because I guess, like, in my mind, they're still both kind of battling each other for my top 2 slots in my top 10. Like, I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
How does that make you feel?
I'm happy. That's fine. I think I might be slightly more happy if they were the other way. Just like you are slightly more happy with them like this.
I'm fine. We got our number 1, so really everything else is sort of arbitrary, but
maybe to you. Not for this OCD mind. I think we should rank all 22 of these fucking games.
Why don't we leave it like this? How's that?
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Okay. Look at that.
I want KCD2 to be above it, but I feel like this feels right. This feels better.
Yeah.
Which, like, I hate saying because I really hate Kojima's games. But this feels to me, this feels better. For our list, this feels better than KCD2 at 2.
This is all our punishment for not playing more KCD2.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
We did this to ourselves.
Yeah. All right. Party select.
So Ghost of Yotei is a good video game.
Yeah.
What do we like about Ghost of Yotei?
Fucking talk about Ghost of Yotei.
Literally didn't say anything about it.
Shit. So here's we did this with like one of those Pokemon games once too, right? Like we just didn't talk about Pokemon at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ghost of Yotei, Atsu, what a fucking character. What an incredible arc. And like they managed to bring you along with like you root for her. It like in spite of her self-destructive tendencies, Like, you want her to succeed, you want her to change. She kind of eventually starts to want to change too, and like the tipping point of that, and like the little bit of a tip back that she has, and then like that, man, it's so good. Like, I have never been happier to feel conflicted in a moment in a game than in that moment. Yeah.
It reminded me of Joel from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yes.
That it's this character that has so much potential to be a power for good in this shitty world that they are in, not of their own making. It's unfair. They've done really horrible things in their past, but here they are with an opportunity to make something of themselves and to make the world around them a better place. And yet they continue to not do that. And it's so frustrating until they finally do it. And then it feels so good.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that Sucker Punch looked at The Last of Us for some inspiration for Atsu's character journey. I have to imagine that because it's so similar.
Because there's an incredible release at the end of that game.
Yes.
It's just like laying the burden down is, I haven't been that satisfied with that kind of a story trope in a game in a long time. It was so good.
I mean, I had an audible sigh at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Where I was like, oh, thank God. Like,
yes. Relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intense emotional
And then
relief.
put on top of that, like, best in class third person action combat.
Yeah.
An amazingly gorgeous world. Incredible music.
Mm-hmm.
Even the open world structure, I think, is, I had some criticisms when we talked about it. I liked it in Ghost of Tsushima better, but I still think the structure of that world is awesome. The size of the spaces are a good size. It's not overwhelming.
Enough to feel like you are exploring, and not too much to where it feels like it's wasting your time.
Yeah.
Yes, there's not like minutes where you're not discovering something, but it's also good about letting you discover it. It points you in the right directions, but it's not a map marker Ubisoft open world bullshit. The game got a lot of fair criticism for how it prioritized iteration over innovation. And I think that is extremely valid. However, when that iteration is done as fucking good as this, it overcomes that criticism, in my opinion. Like, I would play another one of these in a couple of years. If they just added a couple more new systems, another new story, like, I would be totally okay with that. That would probably be it. 3 would probably be it, but that would be enough for me.
Well, and Cody, like, you
the
and
biggest
I,
criticism,
so Shay, you like Ghost of Tsushima is one of your favorite games ever. So of course you're gonna like this one, even though if it was like a little bit of a letdown in how iterative it was. Like, the execution on that iteration, like you said, was incredible. Cody and I weren't that big on Tsushima. Like, we had our own individual
Still blows
problems
my
with
mind.
it. Yeah, but and then we come to Yotei, but like they're so similar, but also like the dials, they cranked all the dials in just the right way to make it click for Cody and I in different ways, but in just the right way to make it click for us and bring us back in. And so like, now I would totally play another one. Yeah, like
the
having
weapons
different weapons instead of stances, like more kinetic feeling combat, like the wolf like character coming in and like all the interplay, like having more options in combat, making them feel more visceral, more punchy. They just made every second of combat feel like it like incredible series of possibilities. While in
Yotei, you could just sort of brute force any enemy with a single weapon. You could definitely do that in Tsushima, but in 2, while you could do that, I feel like it's a lot harder to do that in Yotei. Like, it is more fun to switch your weapon, but it also is more important to do in this.
I would agree.
So it's good that it's both. It's good that it's not just forcing you to do it. It's good that it's also much more enjoyable to do so.
Yeah.
And like you said, just the options you have in combat of like picking up a weapon, throwing it at a guy, and getting your wolf and attacking this guy, and then a bow, and then shoot. Like, it feels so good. So good.
The like potential for skill expression is something
Yes.
that I really seek out when it comes to combat. And it goes beyond just variety of things. And it's actual like, and it's beyond just like the surface level of like feeling like a badass, which is very important. But like, I can think of just a couple of games that I would put up against Ghost of Yotei, like Cyberpunk, God of War are the ones that immediately come to mind, as it's the right combination of options without being overwhelming. But I can experiment and pair things together in unexpected ways. And every combat scenario feels wildly different because I choose to make it feel different. You know, you might be fighting a couple of brutes where you have to use a specific weapon, or there are shield guys, so, I need to break the shields. Like, there are things that you have to do each time, but you can attack those totally different ways if you want to. Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw a smoke bomb and go behind him and assassinate the shield guy instead this time. I'm going to shoot an arrow. I'm going to light it on fire with my fire arrows. I'm going to shoot the grass with my fire arrow and light those guys. Like, it really, you are only limited by your imagination. And it goes back to like a phrase that I always like to use, like choosing your own fun, creating your own fun. This game allows you to do that in the perfect way. It's the right level of difficulty that enables you to do that without feeling like you're disadvantaging yourself in an arbitrary way.
Yeah.
Yep. Well said.
Mwah. Yep. It's so fucking fun. I'm sad. I am sad that I got the platinum trophy, because now I'm done. I want to go play more of it. I hope they do a director's cut like they did with Tsushima, and I will go and platinum it all over again.
Yeah. All right. Party Select's top 5 video games of 2025. Number 5, Hades 2. Number 4, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Number 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Number 2, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. And number 1, Ghost of Yotei.
What a list, man. Holy shit. What a year.
This year was crazy.
4 of the 5 of them are sequels, interestingly.
Yes, yeah. Twos. They're all twos.
Two indie games.
2 indie games, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Solid.
Man.
That's a good fucking list of video games. You're right, Kyle. It is, anybody could like these games, but I think that also has a lot of value. Like, I would tell, even as someone that doesn't like Kojima stuff, I would tell people you should go play all 5 of these. You should absolutely go. If you like video games, you need to try all 5 of these video games. And that makes me feel good about the list.
And if you like Pokemon or tower defense games, you should go check out PokePath Tower Defense on itch.io.
Yeah, dude, it's free. Get it before they get sued out of existence.
Yeah. Creator name Khydra, Khyr or Khydra.
Okay.
I hope it's still there. Well, Shay, Cody, thanks. This was way more pleasant than the last one.
Yes. It's because I gave up coming in.
Yeah.
I gave up on Death Stranding.
Maybe you need to do that more often.
Do that more often. Yeah. I was about to...
Hey,
fuck you. Hey, fuck you, man. Come on, son. All right. I hope everybody at home...
Hey, we didn't talk about Mafia, the old country. Forget about it.
Yeah, we
There's
did
a reason
forget
we didn't
about
talk about
that. Everybody at home, thanks for coming on this journey with us. Thanks for watching or listening wherever you are consuming this content. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. We have more Game of the Year content coming. Our individual top 10 lists will both be in YouTube short format and like longer individual videos where we like expound upon why games are our top 10 and why our list is structured the way it is. Yeah. And then also we do a monthly video game podcast the first Monday of every month. So don't miss out on that in 2026. Come join us. Come along for the ride. Leave a comment. Let us know what would your top 5 be? Do you think we fucked up in not including PokePath or Dispatch or Atomfall or Ball Pit or Sword of the Sea? Or did we not have a game on our long list that you're like, what the hell, guys? If you like Silk Song,
Blueprints,
don't bother putting
None
that
of
down
us
there.
We didn't play that much Blueprints.
I played a good chunk of Blueprints and learned to despise it, which is why it's not on this list.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's also very me coded to not like a thing that other people like. So leave it down in the comments. Y'all are beautiful. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. And we will see you before the end of the year with some more Game of the Year stuff, and then more fun punishment content for me in January. Yeah. Wrap it up. Oh, Shay, should I wrap it up? Has it been a long enough video?
You should wrap it up.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess we're leaving. Bye.